Greetings everyone, boys and girls. This is James here speaking, and how's it going? Alright, I'm gonna have to make the videos today. This is going to be a last day of the December, but this today is on December 30 in Southeast Asia. But today we are going to have the start of it right into it. But this time it's going to be have a look for the 12 months period release as the 2020, and I believe here that this is the first year's being awful, painfully start of decade in existing in real life. But I have to mean that the real world, the real life is existing the total disaster ratings, the apocalyptic year. So anyway, so let's get a try with gonna take a look up the with quality is the 2020 year in review. The quality is actual the bad cases with the terrible cases. The terrible things happens in the bad events that took place in the real world to real life. But the real world is quality is ahead of the bad cases with the 2020 with natural disaster at disaster apocalyptic the coronavirus pandemic. That's because I was told to talk about the coronavirus pandemic, and as I was gonna be looking up there the articles and news topics when there's a COVID-19 the health the situation that it went just in and outdoors, and I ran into it to have the very bad case of a 2020 in real world exist and the entire the universe. So, and I was gonna be showing the reading as a possible as I gonna 2020 year in review, which is a obviously good or bad quality, and that mean it's terrible quality. So let's get this right into it, the terrible case with 2020 year in review. So let's just get this right into it. So alright, so first of all, the first one is wildfire in Australia. And I was heard about the Australians wildfire. That's a burning case of as really hot temperature that fire cases. Half the billions of animals was killed by the fire. That's a poor Australians animals. That is not much of that had to see the. I also have to see the Australians of bushfire and wildfire because the grants is too high about this a really hot temperature, and the fires when it have a more the fires this birds has burned it here that the smoke go up the sky. They can't have it develop the thunderstorm with lightning strikes in the fire that Australians support the support the Australians as try to struggle to stop the wildfires, and they put them back to new normal. And this was saying from U.S. San Francisco the wildfire. That is really terrible case that the lot of fire U.S. in the located state. That's the weather the situation that's a highly the warmth of warming of global warming system with the weather, and I have to makes a bad the heating with the fire cases in the U.S. That's just kind of that was absolutely disastrated. So let's get into it. World War III happening. I meant it to World War III happening in the real life, but I think it's just a World War III that's happening in this real world. So this was as happens Commander Droid the flight and shoot that killed the commander I would have to say the general. The Iran's is a deploy for running to it have they established is going to be World War III, like apocalyptic took place in it, like a big movie. But it didn't happen, but the World War III that doesn't have to happen in real life. So let's get moving into it. The passing of basketball person. I think it's the death of the Kobe Bryant. I didn't know that I was correctly my words says at him. The basketball player guy, which was result for it was killed by the helicopter crash. That's the tragedy. It's always a good thing since the basketball sport game, and we already knows that basketball player man is not here for us, and he was arrested at heaven. But it's really bad this case, and as honestly the person will have this situation. In this is a bad case as a situation as 2020 the events is happening with the he wouldn't happen to forget it and did not ever notice if the helicopter crashes didn't see it coming from, but had to forget it. Alright, next one here. George Floyd was killed by police officer. Yeah, this George Floyd is the African American guy, and the three police officers to try to handcuff him, and then just try to go in the inside the car, but they refused. And then afterwards, is right into the neck, the police officer to have the on the knees, is squishing choking on the neck. And then he just shouted that said George Floyd cried and it said, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." And that moment George Floyd initially got killed by police officer. This is a really bad this cops, but I really so bad, really bad the George Floyd. I feel bad for the George Floyd, and now he's on to the heaven. And right as afterwards is the passing of George Floyd. With that the moment the U.S. the riots and it begins to it's sent by the George Floyd protests into the very rage. Like I said, it's really same with Thai protests. Talk about the prime ministers, the government to try to destroy the king property. Much have the same the George Floyd protests. That's pretty awful, but let's get into this. Let's get in next to this one. Explosion from Middle East. I have no idea what this word is I have to say. Let's get ahead to read this as much as possible. Alright. Let's get it to try to read this. Airplane crash, lockdown, mental health crisis, which was obviously is struggling to suicidal. The people decided this that get self-inflicted throwing and hanging themselves. This is freaking dark. Oh my god. Poor people. Why would you have to live and stay indoors? But there is the COVID-19's outcome there. They have to lock down every country located. And why would you try to self-inflict it yourself with throwing and hanging as make people get dark? Those freaking dark is what the heck is going on in this real world? That's lockdown here with a mental health crisis. Oh man, this is awful. But the poor people got to have a depressing anxiety that's despair for the with the owners I don't know, if it's stay at home owners that the poor people that the unemployed that got off in here to take a relax indoors to stay indoors, so and they brew it just as let them just get them passing. Oh my god, this is dark. This is freaking dark. And who poor people is self-afflicted? Oh man, I recently took up Thailand's first phase of lockdown. It's got them about 3 months staying indoors, and I didn't get past that full time there. Just make decorating in and outdoors, but I just let them forget it about it. So let's get this skip it ahead and the next is one. Okay, floods, Indonesia, tidal volcanoes, locust crowned swan. This is terrifying bugs from East African. All right, next one, the case earthquake, Turkey, Hong Kong protests, U.S. protests, Thai protests. This is the same one. Earthquake, Mexico, the passing of Black Panther actor. Yeah, this is he suffered by cancer, but he doesn't have a COVID, but he's only have the cancer, and I feel bad at him. And I'll have to rest to the United Heaven, and even the Uncle Stanley. I reckons him a lot. And then finally, with coronavirus pandemics all around the country. Oh my god, this is the world worst years ever. Why was this causes about the coronavirus pandemic from Wuhan to China? Is the seafood the market got first impacted the coronavirus, and this is absolutely terrible. Like I would just said that there as it was a bad quality. Not to say it's bad. It's just awful, but it's literally freaking dark. But it's totally apocalyptic and disastrous years. It's chaos delicted. Oh man, this is gonna be worse. Yeah, world worst years I ever seen in real life. But obviously though, this is 2020 years of review. I got all kinds of bad thing cases with a terrible cases, and this year's actually is a horrible. Not to having this, not much to say the bad. It's just terrible. Oh my god. Oh my life. Why is this 2020 is done for? This was pretty bad. Man, I feel a lot of there that this is totally disastrous 2020 I ever exist. Not for that, I just keep away with that terrible cases of 2020. I believe this. I'm just gonna keep away with terrible cases, and as I do, my upside is a personal life with 2020, not the bad. So let's get it started. I went to got off the lockdown, allowing to go into summer vacation, holidays, and going with friends, anyone else. And I went to swimming trainer, which is obviously with my teacher supporter, and said nicely to him. And I refused, never joined the Royal Thai Army, but I never joined. I was never ever have to become soldier, but I'll keep the personals just running as actors. Alright, and everything good sides is upside. It is 2020. And anyways, I have to talk this really too much, but I just say it's 2020 world worst years ever. So there you go, the boys and girls. That is the 2020 years review. That's his terrible case, and hopefully the 2021 just be better for good. So honestly, hopefully they do it. And until for next video, and I feel pretty tired right now, and I'll just get this out of here. As always, later.